Dan here with Lead Handyman Services. Well, I'm going to talk today a little bit about on my selfie cam. Hi. This is weird. I'm just staring at myself. It's like I'm staring at a somewhat time-lapse delay mirror of sorts. Anyway, if you're renting a house and you've got all electric baseboard heat, or if you have an electric water heater, and your electric bills are through the roof, I'm going to show you one trick involving your electric water heater to at least help lower some of your energy costs. If you're the average American paying 12 cents per kilowatt hour, that can get expensive when you're talking about a water heater that uses somewhere around 9,000 watts. So come on along, let's take a look. So your standard electric water heater is going to have a couple different elements. You're going to have an upper element and you're going to have a lower element. Inside of each of these covers you're going to find a thermostat adjustment. Most of them are going to be set to 140 degrees. That's kind of the standard temperature. Frankly, 140 degrees is way too doggone hot. So unless you like scalding your hands in 5 seconds, let's just observe some of the information on the boring tags that nobody reads. As you see from this boring tag that nobody reads, here are some of the whatever. It's less than 5 seconds for what's this? Second and third degree burns. Honestly, I really don't think it's really quite that severe, but, they feel motivated enough to actually spend the time to print the label and put it on there, probably because they don't want you to sue them. If you're not handy with tools or screwdrivers, I would suggest you go and learn. It's never a bad skill to have. Second of all, if you already are and you feel comfortable doing this, you're going to want to start with well, you don't have to have this exact screwdriver, but you're going to need a Phillips and a flathead screw. But before you even get digging into that, you're going to need to find the breaker for the water heater so you can, reduce the risk of electrocution by quite a lot. Most modern homes have these. That is, if your house is built after the year 1901. Except yours might be a little different than this one, but you're going to either find a fuse or you're going to find a breaker. It's probably going to be labeled water heater, so we're just going to go ahead and shut that off. So that should kill power to the water heater. The next step is we're going to take these covers off. So we're going to start with this top one. Then once you're in there, you're going to lift this up. You're going to see the thermostat. You can see that's set right around the 140 mark. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to change to your flathead screwdriver. In this case, I flipped the head on this one. We're just going to go ahead and dial that down to a nice 120. Now, you can go with your own preferences. It depends on how hot at the showers you want to take, but I highly doubt you're going to be taking a shower at 120 degrees. So if you want to go further, you can, but 120 seems to be a good temperature for the one that I use, and it hasn't given me any problems. I've been able to take a nice long hot shower, wash dishes, and not, burn my face off. So you're going to do the same thing with the bottom cover. It's going to be the same situation, so, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to swap my heads over on this to a Phillips. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. And remember, the breaker is shut off to this unit. Never remove the grounding screw. Get that one set to 120 as well. And then once you get your covers back on, there's a few other things that you can check while you're in here. So if you're a homeowner, so first of all, if you're a renter, you can go ahead and exit this video now because your work is done. If you're a homeowner, start looking at some of the things of your install date as far as when the water heater was installed. It's probably a good idea to start at the 10-year mark, maybe start thinking about getting a new water heater. Honestly, I've seen water heaters go for 30 years or plus. But do you really want to risk it and then run the risk of it breaking and flooding your basement or wherever it's located. Another thing that you can look for is down around the bottom. You might find pieces of food and dust, as you see here, but what you really are looking for is any signs of corrosion. It might look, and there's nothing here. You would notice it'd be rusty and you'd have corrosion and, you know, perhaps even a little bit of wetness around the floor. If you start seeing some of that, okay, all right, let me digress here for a second. If you see rust right here, that's probably gonna be pretty normal because you naturally have moisture coming up from the ground that could cause the very bottom where the tank sits against the pavement to rust. But if you got something like at this line or above, that's not exactly a good sign. I'd be going down to your local hardware store, not Home Depot, but your locally owned hardware store, and talking to them about maybe budgeting for a new water heater soon. Always have them installed by a plumber or someone who's experienced. Always make sure that they are wired by an electrician and that they are installed up to code. Thanks for watching.